All right, the Reds, talking Reds. I'm back, I can't speak. I've been on holiday and then I come back and no one wanted me to do any videos anymore. But
you made the cut now, haven't you?
Yeah, I've forced my way back in. I've forced my way back in, so here I am. I'm back to talk about Everton because I am the Anfield Wrap's Everton correspondent, it seems. And so, yeah, I mean, it is the derby tomorrow, so it's fair enough. We are going to Goodison Park to experience Victorian football grounds. Yeah, so here we are, and I mean, it's a weird one, let's be honest, isn't it, the build-up to this one, Craig, because it's been sort of completely overshadowed, obviously, by the fact that we're playing in a quarter-final of the Champions League, and then we battered City 3-0, and we created one of the best atmospheres in a football ground the world has ever seen, so that was all right, wasn't it? And so it's only really clicked round to today before we've sort of gone, oh yeah, going to the derby tomorrow. Yeah, it's not been the same build-up, has it?
No, it hasn't. That's usually, especially in work as well, in here, we're like, it's all week. It's the big one, and I think it's the big one for them. It's their cup final. You know, welcoming, big stand, atmosphere, penalty pool FC to Goodison. And look, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Danny Ingredients and the boys. You know, get us 3 points. Like that would be, I think that might even be sweeter than Mane if we did, you know, make wholesale changes and still beat them. It'd be really good. I'm all in for that. But yeah, look, now that you know the dust is settled from the Man City game, I'm now really excited about this one. I don't know how we're going to get ourselves up early in the pub to drink more pints, but we'll have to give it a good go, I think.
Yeah, the 12:30 kick-off is a bit of a weird one, and it's a bit, I don't know, there's a general weirdness about this all round. I mean, you know, it's Grand National as well, isn't it? Is it? I'm pretty sure it is. You're gonna make me go away and check it now and start the video
again? It's Grand National next week.
It's Grand National tomorrow, isn't it?
No, it's next week.
Is it next week? I thought there was a big fuss about the derby being on the same day as the Grand National.
Yeah, I've been off, haven't you?
I have been off. Do you know what? I was in Egypt and I just jibbed it. I didn't read any papers. I didn't go on the internet. I just had a great time, to be honest.
Finding your match fitness again, aren't you, lad?
But what I did do, I mean, mate, we'll do it this way round. It's going to be chaotic this one. Who cares? But I was lying there on my sun lounger on one day, and I'd read a few books. And the kids were in like this water park thing, and Kelly was reading more books, and I was like, bored here. What am I doing? And so I was just lying there, getting a bit of a bronzy and that. And then I thought, if Big Sam like made his own films or had his own collection of films, like what would they be? And like if Big Sam like was into bands and tunes, like, and they were about him, but like what would they be? And if you like TV shows, what would they be? So started making a list.
It's an insight into Robbo's mind here, by the way.
So here's some Big Sam films for you. What I'm hoping is that this turns into like a hashtag on Twitter, Big Sam Films, and everyone starts sending us Big Sam Films, and it'll really get off the Blue Nose's nose because they think we're knobheads anyway, and I'm absolutely fine with that.
Do you know what? I think after this Talking Reds, there's going to be wanted posters all around Goodison tomorrow for your arrival.
I think it's already happened.
You and his accomplice, me.
I think it's already happened because you know when we discussed it was like the anniversary of Merseyside taking over, and I had a bit of an Everton rant. Apparently it ended up on Everton forums and Everton, and they were calling me all kinds. Hiya lads.
What was it they called me? You said they called me something good. Well, I'll have a think about it and I'll report.
There was one yesterday that said like you're like the lad out of Shed 7 who always wears Adidas trackies.
I don't know what Shed 7 is.
It's a band from the 90s. It's
probably not the worst I've got this week, to be honest. But
okay, let's do the films then. And so we've got Pielander, The Hills Have Pies, Pie Hard, Gravy Seals, The Hand That Rocked the Ladle.
I haven't heard these yet, by the way, either.
Grease. Tango and Mash. Fantastic Mr. Ox. Spudfellas. Barface. And then Big Sam songs. We had The Hole of the Spoon. Movie Tuesday. Give Peas a Chance. And Big Sam TV shows, I had Last of the Summer Pints of Wine, Saturday Night Takeaway, obviously, Stockbusters, A Place in the Bun, that's Plaice, Dempsey and Makepeas, one for the kids there, Chips, obviously, and Peppered Pig. And then, so I've been telling a few people about this, and Joe, who works next door to us for Culture City TV, makes boss videos and stuff. I was talking to him last night, and I said, have you got any more for us, send them over. And so he's come up with some overnight as well. So here's Joe's list. Yes, Prime Minister. I'm Alan Partridge. Not sure, that's terrible, that Joe. For a song, he's got Gravy Little Thing Called Love.
Really good, really good.
Monty Python and the Holy Gravy. Pie Light Zone. Oh yeah, I get it. Pies and Prejudice.
Oh my God.
And Saving Private Ryan.
I think you left the best.
Awful, Joe, awful. But yeah, we are going to talk about the Blues in a bit more of a serious manner as well.
Tears come out there, actually.
We are going to go and see the King of Gravy tomorrow. The Blues now, in all seriousness, have failed to win in 16 derbies. That's 7 years, 5 months and 3 weeks since they last tasted victory over Liverpool Football Club. Lots of them are just sort of playing it down and doing the thing where they're saying, I'm not even bothered, I hope we get battered and it means Big Sam gets sacked and things like that. We know you're only lying. We know you're desperate to beat us. We know you'd love it, and we'd never hear the last of it if you do, even though it's probably going to be a reserve side. And so, you know, the possible team, Emre Can is out still with his back injury. Mo Salah unlikely to be risked with the little tweak that he felt in the week, but you know, chances are that he will be okay for the City game. So you're looking at, in terms of what he can actually change, you're probably looking at Robertson dropping down, Moreno coming in.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at what else? I wouldn't change the keeper. I don't see the point.
No, absolutely not. No.
Klein in at right back, yeah, that would make sense as well. Not a whole lot he can do with the midfield.
How's Clavin?
He was on the injured list for the week. Obviously, press conference to come today, 1:30. We'll be doing our team talk show to follow as usual on Tour Player. Maybe get a bit more on the injury news there. But Clavin wasn't available in the week, so I'm not sure he's going to be available for this. Obviously, if he is, you'd put him in.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. I mean, loads of people are talking about loads of changes. But I mean, there's a under 23s game tonight. I think sort of it might be quite telling what the team is for that if he is going to try a few of the kids, but it's likely to be, as you said before, Danny Ingredients. Solanke's probably going to get a go there.
Yeah. I wonder, does he keep Mane or does he just, because Salah obviously is not going to play. Firmino, you'd really hope he doesn't. I think the midfield.
Firmino come off on 70 though, didn't he, in the week? So
still, I don't. Henderson will play because he can't play in the second leg. Wijnaldum only come on with 15 minutes to go, I think, in the game midweek. So maybe he starts.
Maybe he gets to practice at being the holding midfielder because he's going to have to do that on Tuesday, by the looks. Because Emre's out. Henderson's out for City away.
You just made me really nervous. You just
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
We're 3-0 up. What could possibly go wrong?
Evertonians are going to clip that, aren't they?
Bring it on, boys. Well, also as well, look, I mean, we'll see what happens with the team, won't we? But there's a piece I found. Oh my God, Jim Keegan has wrote a piece for. Some of the lads think you're saying his name Cogan. I think it's Keegan. Anyway, grandoldteam.com.
I'm sure he's watching.
One of the Everton websites, Everton fan websites. Wrote a big old piece about the Reds, and it's glorious in its bitterness. To be honest with you, it really put a smile on my face. He talks about how he watched the FA Cup game, and he knew that Van Dijk was going to score. He talked about it being boring in its predictability, that Everton never get a result against Liverpool. And what he's suggesting to the gang of Blues is that they stop being bothered about us, that they basically just treat a game against Liverpool like you would against a game against Burnley or West Brom. He says if they get beat, he doesn't want the Blues to react and give us what we want and all this sort of thing. I mean, really, Jim? Like, none of that's going to happen, let's be honest, because it's a huge game for you. Your fans are going to get involved. Your fans are going to sing the songs. Your fans are going to do all the stuff they always do in the derby. And to suggest anything different is a bit mad, Jim, to be honest with you, mate. But the best bit about it, I mean, it's a long piece. It's worth a read, as I say, in an amazing way, if you like. There's a bit that I've highlighted. I'm going to read some of it out for you, just because, you know, he's wrote it this week and he's put it out there this week, and it already hasn't aged well, has it, Jim? To be honest with you, mate.
Do you know what? This is all making sense. I wondered why Gareth didn't do a proper agenda here, but here we go. I feel like this is it.
So he says, Jim, on grandoldteam.com, just take a minute and think about all the characteristics that you loathe in a football fan. I'm no mind reader, says Jim, but I bet that qualities such as smugness, a sense of entitlement, and a lack of perspective will feature. Equally, if you took time to think about the elements of a football club that you don't like, things like a corporate mentality, a tourist fan base, and a manufactured sense of fandom might pop up. What's being described here is Liverpool and its fans, says Jim. And it's these fans and this club that we have to engage with because of an accident of geography. How nice would it be if we simply stopped, says Jim. Imagine caring less about the derby and treating both its build-up and aftermath in the same way that you would a fixture against Burnley, where you fucking struggled against them. So that's a good example. Imagine not engaging with their taunts, their gloating, their enduring smugness. They are unquestionably the worst fans in the country. Why the fuck should it be us who have to constantly put up with them? Because we're in the same city, Jim. We're in the same pubs, Jim. We're in the same workplace, Jim. We're not going anywhere, Jim. And then he goes on, he says, we've done our shift. Surely it's someone else's turn. The benefits don't end there. In an area when the shite, the irony of Blues calling Reds the shite, by the way, have been eclipsed by former peers and clubs that were once less alike, the derby has grown in significance for them. When you're no longer a big deal on the national or European stage, no longer a big deal on the national or European stage. Jim, we just won the first leg of a European Cup quarter-final, 3-0. It was a huge game. Everyone tuned in and watched it. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about Liverpool and how well they played, Jim. Well in, Jim. Then he says, for all the claims they aren't bothered by Everton, who has ever said they're not bothered by Everton? Jim, I'm bothered. I've wrote a piece about them being bothered. I'm talking about you right now. I talk about you all the time. And he's referenced this. He says, for all the claims that they aren't bothered about Everton, just a casual glance at the social media feeds of the likes of the Anfield rap. This is Anfield and the Red Men around derby time will quickly dispel that notion. Well, it's not a notion, Jim. You've invented your own arguments and then argued against it. We're bothered. It's the derby. We're in the same city. We're from Merseyside. We're from Liverpool. Of course we're bothered. We want to be better than you at Everton. Football, having a stadium that's better in the community, better football kit, better scoreboard, better everything. Why wouldn't we be bothered about you? What are you talking about, Jim? He carries on, and part of what makes their victories taste so sweet is our reaction to watch your local rival visibly crushed is one of the sweetest feelings in football. It is indeed, Jim. It is indeed. If we as fans were a little less bothered, then we can take this away. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? So he goes on and on and on. But, I mean, basically, he talks about that Liverpool and this corporate monstrosity, while Everton can still be said to adhere to the old model. Well, is Merseyside from Bootle, is he, yeah? Is he a boy done good selling fucking, I don't know, cars on County Road? He's not, is he, mate? He's a billionaire that you've drafted in, who you want to get a new stadium from, who you want to fund big money signings. The idea that Everton is some kind of ideal football club and Liverpool have disappeared over the rainbow and forgot what it's all about. All right, mate, yeah. I mean, honestly, I could go on, and I really could go on. But just go and read Jim's article, grandoldteam.com, and have a big laugh at it. Because you know what? Like, he wrote a book, Jim, years ago, Football Punk, and I'm sure we had him on the Anfield app and we talked about it, and he seemed a sensible lad. Maybe he's on the wind up, maybe he's just sort of, playing to the gallery. But it mentioned us, and it got drawn to me, and I read it, and, sorry, Jim, but you're chatting shite, lad. We'll be back in a minute with the papers.
The Derby game was the biggest game of the season, always.
I think that day, Evertonians sense they were in for a bit of hiding because there seems to be loads of spare tickets going around. So, very, very memorable day that.
Once you cross that line, oh my God, I'd have given anything and done anything to get a result against Everton.
I talked to Howard Kendall. He says, well, we couldn't do anything. Liverpool were just superb on the day.
A scoreline like that at Goodison, it would be one, and we're still talking about it now.
Okay, so that was a little clip there of the next Anfield Wrap moments in time. The first one was about when Kenny Dalglish resigned, and we got journalists and fans in, his family and everything else. It went down really well. So the boys have been working hard on a second one, and as you can see there, it's about the great day when Liverpool won 5-0 at Goodison Park, and Rush scored 1, Rush scored 2, Rush scored 3, and Rush scored 4. So what a great time that was. So yeah, that'll be out soon. Keep an eye out for that. It should be another cracker. I'm looking forward to listening to it myself. Before we get into the papers as well, we had Trent Alexander Arnold on for an Anfield Wrap special. He was superb. It was a great listen. It was about not just about being Trent and about looking forward to big European games and having an absolute worldie at Anfield. It was before that, so we couldn't ask him about that. But it was about what it is to be a footballer in the community, what it is to be a Scouser and be in the first team and all that sort of stuff. It was a good show. I'm getting lots of good feedback on it. It's free as well, so if you don't subscribe, you can have a listen to that in all the usual places. It's on the website, it's on Spotify, it's on Stitcher, it's on every podcast app you can possibly think of. Just look for the Anfield Wrap, find that show, give it a listen. But while Trent was in as well, he very kindly signed the shirt. There it is. There's his autograph there. So Craig, what's the crack? What are we doing with the shirt?
You'll find all the information on our website and on our Twitter page as well this afternoon. It'll be when this video goes out, so it'll be on there. Just in case of answering the question correctly, fill in your details, and I think it'll run for about a week. We'll probably announce it next Friday on Talking Reds.
Another little bit of admin as well. A few people have asked when I've drank from this cup before, like, what's going on? It's a Jim McDonald mug. Can you see it, Sam? Yeah. It says on the front, "You're lucky to be alive, Gareth," and then on the back it says, "So you are." And so, if you're wondering what that's all about, I mean, someone, was tweeting me saying about this, Charlie Lawson and what a fella he was and why would they want him on a mug, and I was like, it's more to do with the Jim McDonald thing and the Corrie and the fact that he's Northern Irish and he's Northern Irish and I take the piss out of him. Secret Santa, Craig got me that, okay?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Gareth.
We've cleared that up. You're lying. Okay, so in the papers then, I'm not sure whether you've talked about this week, because I've had a cob on basically that I haven't been able to deal with myself. But anyway, it is in the papers today. Again, there is more details on the Manchester City bus being attacked, as it is deemed here, on its way into Anfield. Obviously, another video has emerged from inside the Manchester City coach. You can hear what the coach driver thinks of Scousers there, and he thinks it's the worst city in England, apparently. I wonder if he's visited them all and what this is based on, and how many people from Liverpool he actually knows, or whether he's just based it on the fact that a few bottles hit the coach. Look, my point of view on all this is it's obviously not great. It's obviously not something you condone. There were kids around, you know, who've gone there to cheer on Liverpool and boo City and do things in good spirits. A few people have obviously got carried away for whatever reason and started to throw bottles and cans and what have you at the coach. It's not great. But, you know, at the same time, I think we need perspective in all this. And the perspective for me is there's thousands of people there on the day. There's thousands more in the ground. And there's thousands more who live in Liverpool in general and Merseyside and the wider area. We're not all hooligans. We're not all scallies. We shouldn't all be tarred with the brush just because, you know, the media is making this huge deal about it. The club have said sorry. City aren't happy. Understandably so. You know, apparently players were lying down in the aisle and all this sort of stuff, worried about things coming through the window. A window did get obviously shattered. Unfortunate, not great. And as I say, loads and loads of coverage of it in the papers. And unsurprisingly, you know, the Mail in particular, absolutely loving it and bigging it up and hamming it up and, you know, sound, you know, any excuse to have a go at the City and try and deflect from what was a fantastic performance. I have to say as well that, you know, from my perspective, I'm not that bothered.
No.
And what I mean by that is all of that what I just said, I meant it, but at the same time, I enjoyed the match. I can't control dickheads, and so it's not in my control, so I'm not going to lose sleep about it. I didn't throw bottles. I don't know anyone else who threw bottles. We had a great time. Liverpool were brilliant. City were blown away. Anfield was rocking. That's what I'm going to remember, not some blades throwing bottles.
Yeah, it didn't tarnish it. Carl's written a good piece on the website, hasn't he? Where I think some people on social media were saying, "Oh, it's a shame that this has tarnished the result, and this is what people remember it for." Well, they fuck. Like, you know, we're just not thinking about it.
Nah.
3-0.
On a more positive point then, in the Times today, Paul Joyce has done a bit of a sort of background on Alexander Arnold's coming of age and repaying Klopp's faith in him. Good piece, well worth a read, and some interesting comments in there. Also, you know, he's spoken to Neil Critchley, who worked with him with the under-23s and that sort of thing, and mentions about that, you know, he's still got a very good relationship with Alex Inglethorpe, the academy director, and he even goes as far to say that, you know, he went on social media, didn't he, sent after Manchester United and apologised for his performance, which we said before wasn't necessary, but also emerges here that he went back to the academy, to Alex Inglethorpe, and to get advice, because you know, he still values these fellas' points of view. He still doesn't think he's made it by any stretch. It says in the piece that even though he's playing in the first team and he's probably, you know, exceeded expectations in terms of the number of games he's played, he doesn't sort of think I've made it, and he's still, you know, he's still big enough to go and ask for advice. So brilliant that, but also it says there, Critchley saying, you know, you have to give credit to Klopp, sticking by him. You know, it might have been easy at some point this season to say, oh, I'll take him out the firing line, but, you know, what a performance from Trent against City, against Sane, after all the build-up about him being a weakness. He had a fantastic game. And the other line from Paul Joyce's piece, which is really interesting, and he says that maybe Trent's not even aware of this, well, he obviously will be now, is that when Liverpool went back to Leipzig in the transfer window and tried to push forward Naby Keita's deal, they actually came back and went, all right, yeah, we're interested in you in doing an earlier deal if you give us Trent.
That's a measure of just you know, how highly regarded he is, not just within this country. Scouts all over Europe would be looking at him like, how many 19-year-old fullbacks are doing what he's doing? And like you said, you know, he's progressed a lot quicker, and he's had a lot more games in the first team than he would have even have imagined this season. But you know, coming back from, you know, the mistakes that he made in the Man United game is just a show of his character and his mentality. And you know, when as soon as I said it, I thought, but you know, like whenever we had him in, when he's talking with such a surety, and you can see that he has the confidence in himself. But not only the confidence, he wants to improve, and he wants to do anything he can to improve. And like you say, he knows he's not made it. He's talked in the past in a couple of interviews I've seen about what Neil Critchley and Alex Inglethorpe have done for him, and how they've helped him, and how they helped him sort of map out his route into the first team, which I find really interesting, because obviously he hasn't grown up as a right back. He was a centre midfielder. So what he's doing now is so impressive, and that just goes to show he's been working on his ability in defence. We know what he can do going forward. We've seen it. We've seen it against Swansea. We saw it against Hoffenheim and Maribor. But now he's just going to show that he can do it in defence as well. And it's been a long time since I've been this excited about a lad coming from the academy, because we've seen fullbacks come from the academy over the last 5-10 years, the likes of Martin Kelly, the likes of Flanagan, but we've not seen anyone like this so far, and he's just 19. I can't get my head around it. When you listen to him in the interview, the way he talks, like he's completely screwed. He's got his head screwed on. He knows what he needs to do. He knows what he needs to improve on. He knows what people are saying about him. And to go and put in that performance against Manchester City is just amazing. And the last thing I'll say about him is I love that when he first broke through, my favourite thing about him so far is when he first broke through, he said he wants to be Liverpool captain. That's his aim.
Yeah, go on.
And like how good it would be in 5 and 10 years to see Trent Alexander Arnold be captain of Liverpool, a local lad, a lad that's grown up as a Liverpool fan by Millwood, captain in Liverpool, and the other night on 90 Minutes, when the camera is on him and he's going like that, he's like looking around at his teammates and he's saying to them, let's get through this, we've got 3 minutes left. That's just brilliant. And his celebrations as well, after the third goal, where he's in front of the cop and he's just screaming at them like this, just put hairs in the back of my neck. And I've watched him countless times. So yeah, I'm excited about Trent. I'm really excited about him.
Me too. We've got a gem on our hands. Get behind him. Give him support. He's only a teenager. The takeaway line in this thing from Joycey as well. Neil Critchley says of Trent, he says he has a real steely determination about him. He has something inside him that says, "Okay, I will prove you wrong." Scouse that. Yeah. Right, okay. So it is the derby this weekend. There will be loads of build-up as ever on the Anfield Wrap. The Friday show's already out there. There will be the City Talk show. There's the mess about that is AFQ, which is a great laugh. We'll be recording the wildcards today. That will be out next week. There will be a team talk show, which I've already mentioned. So get involved. Listen to Tour Player. Listen to the free shows. Listen to the podcast. Support the Anfield Wrap. And don't worry too much about the derby. We had Steve Warnock in here yesterday for ProView, which is already out there. I was saying to him, what would you do with this derby team? And he said, you know what? Wouldn't worry about it too much, because he said when you get a result like you do against City, it filters right through the club. He said every player who's registered as a Liverpool player will be absolutely buzzing right now, and they will go out on that pitch at Goodison Park tomorrow and they'll put in 100%, and that could well be good enough to continue that awful record of Everton Football Club. And wouldn't that be wonderful? So have a great weekend, the boys and the girls. Get down to Goodison, support the Reds, and we'll see you next week.